so YouTube has started. Okay, Facebook has started. Okay. All right, let me get all my stuff going here. Okay. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. Okay, and let me just check YouTube here. YouTube is good. All right, so let me put my screen the way I like it. Okay, it is Friday. We made it through another week. Round of applause for us. That's one of my teaching tricks. I do that with my students. I give them a round of applause at the end of every class because there's always good stuff happening. Speaking of students, I know back to school is coming in hot, shall we say. I know some of the colleges are back. Some of the school systems are back. So back to school is definitely creeping around. If that was you this week, I feel ya. I have another week before my son leaves for his sophomore year. Don't ask me how that happened. It seems like yesterday he was in kindergarten. But, it is what it is. We roll with the times. He had a fabulous freshman year. I hope his sophomore year is even better. But, you know. So, if you're thinking, oh, the kids are back in school, we need a fall trip, we need to start thinking about holiday stuff, we can talk about all of that. We're not going to talk about all of it today, but I'd be happy to have conversations with you around whatever that might entail, whether it's a weekend, whether your kids have a fall break, where they have a long weekend. I know a lot of times my son would have like Thursday, Friday, Monday. So if your kids have something like that in the fall and you want to make a trip out of it, I would be happy to help you with that. Um, we can also look at the spring. It's not too soon to start thinking about the holidays. I know. Don't hate me for saying that. I know it's only August, but travel generally gets booked 3 to 6 months out. So we are in the beginning of the window for holiday trips. I booked about, well, I started talking to her about 2 weeks ago. Last week we booked. I think we've booked all her rooms now. I have a family going to Walt Disney World Thanksgiving week. So it's not too soon for travel, especially if you're doing Thanksgiving, not Christmas. Um, but it's got to be right for you and it's got to be on your time frame. So if any of that stuff is ringing any bells, get together with your travel partners and let's get things rolling. So let's talk a little Disney news. Let's talk a little. Actually, we're going to start at Universal today. Going to change things up. Universal has something cool they're doing. They're doing Volcano Bay Nights. So it's nighttime at Volcano Bay. Um, it has rides, a live DJ, games, and character meet and greets. It will be back on Fridays in September and October. So if you are already headed to Universal and you want to add this to your trip, you can do that. If this is enough to make you want to do maybe a weekend trip at Universal, do this on Friday night, do a park on Saturday, park on Sunday, and then head home, I can certainly help you with that trip. Um, so let me know. Universal is awesome. Um, it has a few more thrill rides than I think, or different kinds of thrill rides, I should say. They're not really, they're kind of apples and oranges, but there is a lot for the thrill seekers at Universal. There's a lot for the family too because we got Shrek, we got Minions, we got Puss in Boots. We got lots of cool stuff, and I'm not talking anything in Epic Universe. I know we got really cool stuff there too. We got Isla Burke, we got the Ministry of Magic, but I'm really just focusing on the first two parks because Epic, while it's fabulous, it has to be. It's a little harder to get tickets, and it's harder to do it in one day. And since we're only talking about a weekend here for this pseudo trip, Epic might be better served to be part of your longer trip. But there's lots in the original two Universal parks. There's Harry Potter, there's Superhero Island, there's Seuss Landing for the younger bunch. I've already mentioned the Minions, DreamWorks. There's all kinds of stuff for all kinds of, there's escape rooms, there's all kinds of stuff for everybody in your travel group. So definitely don't count out Universal. It is a great place. I know I don't talk about it as often as I should. I am a Disney girl, but I also love Universal. I love them both, to be fair. Um, so now that we've talked about Universal, don't forget you got Halloween Horror Nights. You've got the Dementors in Hogsmeade. You've got all kinds of cool stuff in Universal, and of course we'll have Christmas at Universal too. We'll have Christmas in New York City. We'll have Earl the Squirrel. Um, Christmas in the Wizarding World. I don't think they call it Christmas. I think they call it winter in the Wizarding World, but it'll have like Yule Ball music and all kinds of stuff. So, if any of that is on your bucket list, this is the time to start at least talking about it, getting information. So, hit me up. All right. Okay, let's float on over to Disney World and talk about food and wine because some of the menus got released today. And I'm not going to do what I did for the past couple weeks and sit here and read you all the food and make me hungry and you hungry and make us all kind of depressed on Friday afternoon because we're not at Disney having goodies. So I'm going to talk about just a couple things about food and wine. There will be merch. I have not seen the merch yet, but there's always at least one cool piece of festival merch for every festival. So when I get an eye on the merch and I see what that might be, I'll make a couple suggestions, but that's for an upcoming live. That's not for today. I am very happy that the pickle milkshake is back. I once again this year will not get there to get the pickle milkshake, but if they keep bringing it back, eventually I'm going to get there. So I'm glad to see that it's back again this year. Um, the bao buns are back, and the other thing that's back there is a lot of really cool new stuff. But we'll talk about that as it gets closer. The other thing that's back are those nifty little gift cards you can buy that are for the festival that have credits for food on them. They come with a little thing to go around your wrist, and you just flip your wrist at the terminal, and whoop, you're good. Um, and they make a nice little cute souvenir too. If you're not really a souvenir person, you don't really want to invest in a souvenir, maybe you don't collect mugs or shot glasses or t-shirts or any of those things, which is okay because I'll be honest, I have more than I need of all those things, but that doesn't stop me from sometimes being tempted to get more. I'm working on the temptation. Um, but it's a nice little easy thing. You can just drop it, in your bag, in your suitcase, whatever. It makes it's a gift card souvenir thing you can keep, but you don't have to pay extra for it. So, if that kind of stuff is good for you, they are offering them again. I like them because they just make it easy. You don't have to worry about your pulling your card out. I know most of us use our magic bands anyway for payment, but if you don't want to do the magic band, um, or you want to do the card so that you don't have to worry about how much you're putting on your magic band, the card's a really good choice for that too. Um, okay, something else for we've gone to Universal, we've gone to Disney World. Don't forget Disneyland has all that really cool stuff for the 70th, and they're mixing all the 70th stuff in with the holiday celebrations this year. So this might be a really good year to go out to California if you've been thinking about it. I would go if my schedule permitted, but I would want to go for Christmas, and that's just not going to work with the college schedule this year. I can already tell. So, as I said last year, as I'll say again, maybe next year, but that's okay. I'm patient. I wouldn't want to go without him, so I just have to wait until he gets through grad school, and then maybe we can make it work. Um, and it won't be the 70th at that point, but it will probably still be really, really cool to do Christmas in Disneyland. Cruises. You may not have noticed this, but Disney decided the path for their ship, that their cruise that's leaving tomorrow, was too close to potential tropical storm Erin. So they have rerouted the ship to make a wide turn away from the trouble. If you've ever wondered about cruising during hurricane season and what happens, in general, I'm not going to say always, I'm not going to say it's perfect, I'm not going to say, any of those things, but in general, they keep a very close eye on the storms and they reroute the ships as needed to make sure that they are as far from trouble as they can be. There are no guarantees, but they really do everything they can to keep everybody safe. So you might get some different shore excursions. You might get your day at sea might change so that they can take that earlier in the trip and get you further out away from the storm. Um, but they do everything they can to keep people safe, which I really appreciate because those people, some of them are my clients. Um, but I love it when everybody is safe. Weather can be really scary, and traveling with in bad weather can be really scary too. So it always warms my heart a little bit when I see the destinations, the cruise ships and the theme parks and stuff, really going out of their way and really being extra cautious to keep everybody safe. Um, what else should we talk about today? I'm going to give you a packing tip that I use. You know how you always have those 6 or 8 things that you can't pack to the last minute. You can't do it to the morning of. Your toothbrush, your car keys, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that I really don't want to forget, like say my car keys and my passport if I need it at the airport for ID, or the right pair of shoes for my day, all those kind of things. I literally put everything in my shoes or hook it to my shoes. Loosen the laces and stick it underneath. If it's bigger than that, I will tie. If it's like my travel bag, I'll tie the lace of my shoe around my bag. It's just one of those things I do when I'm leaving home to make sure that I don't forget any of those important things. What I do in the hotel room to not forget any of those important things at the last minute is put them all on um, my sweater or my sweatshirt or whatever that I want to put in my carry-on bag, because I don't know about you guys, but whenever I fly, I get cold. Doesn't matter if I've been in 105-degree, 100% humidity Florida weather. At some point between Florida and Maryland, I'm going to get cold. So there's always a sweatshirt or a sweater or a long sleeve shirt. There's always another layer that goes in my travel bag. So I tend to put everything I don't want to forget on that layer, and then I can just roll it up and put it in my carry-on bag, and then I know I've got the chargers and my keys and any other important things that I need between leaving my wonderful vacation and coming back to reality. So there's a tip for you. The other thing I like to do, I'm a fan of packing cubes. Now, I know some people that I travel with really don't like them because they do kind of they make odd spots in your suitcase because you've got these 3 cubes and they stack very nicely, and then you got this spot over here that may or may not be the greatest shape to put something in. So I like to use a blend of packing cubes and then putting stuff around the packing cubes. Things like maybe rolling my sweatshirt or my jeans or something like that and putting it around the packing cube to try to maximize my space in the suitcase. I do think packing cubes can be great, especially if you're packing for littles, because you can put everything together. They've got their whole outfit, they've got their socks. You can do one for every day, where they've got their outfit for the day, they've got their swimwear for your break time back at the resort. They've got another clean, dry outfit for the evening when you go back into the parks. And then they've also got their pajamas in that cube. So you can do that. You can do, I used to do cubes when my son got older. All the adults had a cube, and then I had a fourth cube that was for swimwear. So all the swim trunks, the rash guards, the sandals and the pool shoes and all that, the sunscreen, the towels, all that stuff. Although you don't need towels at Disney, they have plenty of towels at the pool. But all that stuff went in its own cube, and that way when we were ready for that, all I had to do was pull the cube out. The other thing is maybe if depending on how often you're traveling with wet swimsuits and whatnot, get yourself one of those specially made travel bags for wet items. Put it in your checked bag so that you do not get flagged at security. But put it in there, and that way if you want to use the pool on the day you're checking out, you want to go to the pool before checkout time, or sometimes we would check out but keep our swimsuits and stuff separate and then do a little pool time if we were killing time before the airport. So if you're doing that, consider a bag that's specifically made to hold wet stuff and keep your other stuff dry. And put it in your checked bag, please. Please do not get flagged at security with wet stuff. It's an easy mistake to make. I've done it myself. But learn from my mistakes and be better. All right, on that happy note, I am going to leave you until next Friday. But if I can help you travel anywhere for the fall, for the spring, even if you're thinking about doing a big family trip or something next summer and you just kind of want to start the conversation, I am all for that. I don't have to book something for you the minute I talk to you. I am more than happy for us to talk it out, make notes, and look at things as things open up. So if I can help you at all, let me know. Everybody stay safe until next Friday. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you next Friday at 4. Bye.